Welcome everybody to Thursdays at the Daily Huddle, Spiritual Matters. I'm your host, Dr. Monikah Ogando, and I'm excited to talk to you today because you are looking at, listen, look at me. You are looking at a living, breathing contradiction. What do I mean by that? Today, we're talking about rest as a spiritual discipline. Ask me if I feel rested today. No, I don't. I do not do single digit life. So we're going to talk about how you can incorporate rest. First of all, to consider it as a spiritual discipline, because a lot of people don't, and we'll get into that. And secondly, how you can still honor your commitments and still rest. Welcome to the Daily Huddle. Oh, what happened?
She's in the restful mode.
All right. Buenos dias, good morning, bonjour. I hope that you all are ready for a very, very juicy conversation today. That's why I didn't even give you a quote. I didn't even give you a joke. We're going right into it. So let's get grounded first in the now moments so that we can have a really, really juicy discussion. Sharita, where are you and what are you thankful for? Where's Rashida?
Is Rashida?
Rashida, what did I say? Did I eat my word?
You said Sharita.
I was like, wait a minute, she's talking to me.
Listen,
What was your question then? What was your question?
Okay, let's try again. Rewind. Let's get grounded in the now moment because we have a very juicy conversation. Rashida, where are you and what are you thankful for?
I'm right here where I'm supposed to be, right here in my skin. And what I'm grateful for, I am grateful for life itself and one day more to my calendar. Very grateful for that. And with that, back to you, Dr. Ogando.
Oh, thank you. And thank you for being a good sport about that. Lord have mercy, I'm dyslexic with just one name. What? How does this even work? How are we gonna do that with Tara? Tara, can't switch those. That would be Rata. That's not funny. That's not funny.
Well, my brothers used to call me A-Rat, which is Tara backwards.
Oh my goodness. Leave it to brothers, right?
Right.
Tara, what am I asking you? Because I already asked Rashida where she was. How are you? And who are you hugging today?
I am the way I say I am. And today I am focused and driven.
Okay. Is it contagious? Because I need some. Is it
I'm sending it to you, my sister. Sending it your way. And I will hug at 6:15 this afternoon, my sweet Caroline, my daughter.
Oh, yay. Also, nice hair, buddy.
Yeah. Rocking the short
dark cut and the yes.
Thank you.
They say when a woman cuts her hair, she's about to change her life, you know. What they say. I don't know nothing about that. Okay, and Chase. What time is it?
The time is now.
Yes, the time is now, and now we are speaking about rest as a spiritual discipline. Now, I know that sounds like a contradiction. I know it sounds like an oxymoron. I know that it sounds maybe even counterintuitive, right? Because who considers rest a discipline? But in this grind culture, in this hustle culture, where we are overstimulated and underappreciated, at least our humanity is, it is considered an act of resistance almost to be in rest mode. In fact, there has been a book written about that. Yes, there is. The book is Rest as Resistance by Tricia Hersey. I'm going to put that in the chat, or somebody put it in the chat for me. Rest as Resistance by Tricia Hersey. And she is part of what's called the NAP, the NAP ministry. And they have a rest deck where you have 50 practices to resist grind culture. Now, why am I mentioning these resources to you? Because many times the pushback against productivity culture, capitalism, even if you think about it, the whole idea of productivity emanated from our concentration on capitalistic aims. If you think about even the department that almost every company has called human resources, considers a human being a cog in the wheel, such as being a resource, right? And typically, that department focuses more on who you are being to the company as a resource, more so than how the company is honoring and leveraging your humanity. And so the reason I wanted to talk today about rest as a spiritual discipline is because imagine what your life would be like, what your access to your creativity, to your imagination, to your feelings, to your intuition would be like if you didn't have to run around everywhere all at once, right? There's been this cultural pivot that has happened in the past, I'm gonna say 50 years, where even meditation is something that you sneak into your to-do list so that you can say that you've been a good human being for the day. As opposed to it being the respite and the introduction to the day that it's supposed to be. And so when we say rest as a spiritual discipline, it is an opportunity for you to kind of clear the decks. It is an opportunity for you to practice being present. One of the things that I have noticed is that in moments of crises, in moments of stress, the people that get away from or move through that unscathed and with very little trauma signature are people who stay present, right? And what I mean by that is, for example, if you've ever, I don't know if you've ever been in a car crash or if you've ever witnessed one, the whole entire thing as it happened and the whole way through. But the person that is saving somebody else from a trapped burning vehicle or somebody who is, getting people to safety, they're staying very present. Like, just do this thing, grab this arm, move this way. Like right now, we're not thinking about what might happen and oh my God, and what I avoided and da-da-da. All of that adrenaline stuff happens later. But in the moment, you're doing triage and you're just kind of like being present. And isn't it amazing that being present can save lives? Isn't it amazing that being present can mitigate trauma and danger in our lives? And so this is what happens when you're well rested. This is what happens when this is one of the things that we say here on the Daily Huddle every single day is get yourself at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep every night. And if you're not going to, take a nap. You're not gonna miss nothing. The world will keep turning. And so how do you honor your own energy signature? You always hear me joking around that I'm not a morning person. It is true, but also I'm not run by my calendar or my energy signature either. I have an energy signature. My energy signature does not have me. And so how do you honor your commitments? How do you honor your energy signature and still be up to the things that you're up to in the world, right? One of the things that you can do, of course, is go to sleep earlier. wake up earlier, however it is. And sometimes you can go to sleep later some other day. But for me, for example, on Wednesday nights, I go to sleep really, really early because I have the daily huddle Thursday mornings, right? And when I feel tired, I will stop and I will rest. And you'd be surprised. You'd be so surprised with how little your body requires in order to reset itself. This takes a little bit of practice, which is why we're calling today rest as a spiritual discipline, because you need to give yourself enough room, enough data points, right? So you have to practice it on a daily basis in order for you to notice patterns, right? For you to see, for example, maybe I am better in the mornings. Maybe I am better at night. Maybe I have a pick-me-up, a second win, as it were, in the afternoons or whatever the case may be, right? But you have to observe yourself long enough in order to notice that, right? So that's point number one, is about notice your own energy signature so that you can determine where you can insert moments of rest or phases of rest, because you can also do that on an annual basis. That's what a sabbatical stands for. A sabbatical is a concentrated moment of rest where you take yourself away from your day-to-day commitments, right? The second point that I want to make is that sometimes rest isn't about taking a nap or going to sleep or getting on vacation or just doing something like removing yourself altogether. Sometimes rest is not stressing. Sometimes rest is not overthinking, overcomplicating, anticipating the worst. Sometimes it's just not giving yourself more crap to be scared about and curating your inputs, such as, I no longer watch slave movies. That stuff triggers the crap out of me. And I end up sounding like, Louis Farrakhan when I finish watching those movies. I'm like, I don't like who I am. I don't like who I become when I watch that stuff. So I'm just not going to take that in. That's not part of my curating menu of inputs, right? And I think we would do so much service to ourselves if you watch how nature moves, the pace of nature, and try to match that. If you notice, right around the fall equinox, you've heard me say this before, right around the fall equinox, the sun, then it becomes really obvious that the sun is losing its steam, as it were. The days get shorter, the nights get longer, until it culminates in the winter solstice. Leaves fall, snow comes in, and the world, in at least the northern hemisphere, gets colder and slower. We would do well to imitate that pace. But if you notice, our culture does exactly the opposite. When the sun is at its peak in the summer, when the world is moving at its fastest, we have the longest days and the shortest nights, that's when we go on vacation. That's when we let the kids out of school, and that's when we, have 1,000 field trips to go to and summer camps and et cetera, et cetera. But in the wintertime, when we're supposed to be quiet and restful, et cetera, that's when we have Christmas parties and sugar and cookies and candies and alcohol and, regrettable events at office parties and all these other things, right? It's like, stay home. Look at what the sun is doing. The sun is sitting down. You sit down too, right? And so I want to create this conversation with you about your relationship to rest. Have you ever bragged about how little rest you need or how much you're accomplishing with such little rest? Like that's a trophy, like that's a flex. And how has your relationship to rest evolved to where you are now? Let's talk about it. Let's massage this. Maybe we'll walk away with a new understanding and a new decision, maybe. Who wants to go first?
Good evening, good morning, great rising. This is a topic that I've been contemplating for the past 3 weeks because I have not been getting my full rest of my 6-7 hours. I've been doing 4 and 5 hours, and it's taking a toll on me. So when you touch the point this morning, I was like, was she now in my mind? I'm telling you, I contemplating getting my full rest because I tell you, yesterday evening around 2:30, I have to recoup and get in my bed and I took a nap at 45 minutes because then I can feel it. I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, I go and do my 40 minutes walk. I come back, I recoup, I get on my Zooms, and trust me, I drive in and I literally can feel my heart them say, I want to shut down. I want to shut down. Trust me, I need to take this lesson that you is giving me this morning and run with it. So I am promising myself to go into my bed by 9 o'clock. If not, I'm not gonna. I'm jeopardizing my health. I am jeopardizing my health and my consciousness, knowing that I need to get my 7 hours sleep, 6.5 hours. Trust me. Thank you so much for the point. Thank you so much. Well taken. So this for me is confirmation.
All
This
right.
for me is confirmation. Thank you so much, Dr. Ogando. Thank you.
You're welcome. Now take your butt to bed. I love it. Yeah, yes, we're here. You know, this is what happens when we go together, when we're family. We're here. Who else has something to comment or to share about your own relationship to rest? Yes, Laura Clark.
I'll share. Thank you
Hi.
for this conversation. I just started participating in a community that is taking rest very seriously.
Oh, where is it? Maybe I have to
journey-
go over there with my blankie.
My journey began from childhood, where I grew up with people who experienced PTSD, so there was not much rest. It was work, work, work. Anyway, I worked since I got into working. I didn't think about rest until I got burnt out from my job.
Right.
Walked off of my job in 2017. Still couldn't keep still. Continued to work until Spirit said, stop. Stop. So now that I'm taking rest seriously, it is one of the most profound experience is that I am now experiencing my higher self.
Oh, how's that?
Okay, because I'm starting to rest and meditate more. And that's just an experience I downloaded one night where I actually, might be the first time, really experienced my higher self. I shouted out in my sleep, oh, this is God. This happened on June 3rd. All at this time. And I mean, when I say profound experience, this is something I always like wanting to experience.
Yeah.
And to experience it for the first time. And thank you too, because you have helped me on that journey, you know, starting to do some serious self-reflection.
Perfect.
On my resistance to spirit. Yeah. But
That's
now I'm experiencing the beauty of rest.
Hallelujah. I'm happy.
Hallelujah. Amen.
I am happy to hear that. Awesome.
Thank
you, Laura. Sorrel, you have something?
Yes, I do. I have a confession.
Uh-oh.
So I'll do it this way. 3 words. Penny's restaurant, right? Caffeine and all-nighters.
Oh.
So I'm discovering in this conversation that yes, for a long time I wore not resting as a badge of courage, a badge of prowess, you know?
Yeah.
So and I'm sure it started a long time before what I'm about to say, but I remember a week before a certain final in engineering school, my buddies and I would get together after playing all day at Denny's restaurant.
Mhm,
We'd get
mhm.
together at Denny's because we could go in booths and sit there and study. We didn't have to order anything because we didn't have any money.
Mhm.
But Denny's was renowned for that. They would just
Yeah.
pour on the coffee
Yep.
till, and there was no end to that coffee. It was bad, but it was caffeine, and it kept us awake. And and then a week later, we'd take the finals. We'd all do well, and I learned that, oh, that's how people do well. You run your body ragged. You don't rest.
Mm.
You work hard, and you do well. That's the price of doing well. So
Mm.
I'm confessing
Mhm.
that for me, not resting has been an access to succeeding.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. How many of us can
So,
relate to that? Mhm.
so it's like, I'll walk around tired, but I'm successful, therefore it's worth it. And
Worth
if you're successful and you're not tired and you're fully rested, you must be a chump of some sort.
Trump. Wow. Okay. It's like that. All right. Yes. I
Uh,
totally get it.
so I confess, I'm one of the ones who, for a long time, wore not resting as a badge of courage and prowess. And
Thank you for that confession. I am certain you are not the only one. You're just the one courageous enough to admit it. So thank you for that. Yeah. Yeah, it's sometimes we use lack of rest as a badge of honor. And I know where that came from, right? That it's like if you are a cog in the wheel of capitalism, then your usefulness, your utility, your my ability to use you as a machine, how much labor I can get out of you for as little return as possible is a very capitalistic way of looking at it, right? Then I don't have to recognize your humanity. Then I don't have to engage in connection and intuition and follow the cycles of your energy signature or my energy signature for that matter, et cetera. So it makes it very simple, but also very transactional, clinical, devoid of humanity, and not sustainable in the long term. Tara.
Good morning. I
Morning.
love this topic. It is such a beautiful reminder, and especially the part about what a little short nap can do for you.
Mhm.
Because sometimes we don't have the luxury to go to bed early. Maybe we're traveling or whatever. We got to get up early.
Right.
When you feel yourself, like last night, I was trying to work. I kept making mistakes on this project for a client, and I finally just thought, what am I doing? And I went to bed.
Good bad. Right.
But my question is this: what do you say to folks who really struggle to sleep? And I know there's a million resolutions for that,
Mhm.
but I wonder what, from your perspective and your learnings, what you could add, other than medication, which is kind of the last resort.
Yeah, I typically don't go that route with the medication, but here's what I will say. First, sometimes the reason why we can't rest is because our minds are going a mile an hour. And so write some of that stuff down. If you can't write it down, speak it into like a voice memo app on your phone or whatever, just to get it out of your system. Also, imagine that you're giving instructions when you're writing it down or you're speaking it into your voice memo app, that you're giving instructions to your spiritual team. These are the kinds of things that I'm concerned about that need to get handled, but I'm about to go to sleep. So I need you to handle it.
Oh, say that one more time. I love how you said that. So one more time about the spiritual team. Say it again.
Yes. So you speak all the things that you're concerned about, that you're worried about, that you're anticipating, that you're afraid of, blah, blah, blah. And you put it in your journal or you put it in your voice memo and you make a deal with your spiritual team. However you conceptualize that. These are the kinds of things that I'm concerned about that I need to get handled and that I need to feel peace about, but I'm going to sleep. So I need you to handle them while I'm sleeping. And that's how you get dreams. That's how you get intuitive downloads when you wake up. That's how you can feel yourself ease when, I don't know if you've ever had this experience when you were a child. Some of us have had very troubled childhoods, but there's a moment in your childhood when you look to a caregiver and you're like, but, and they're like, I got it. It's okay. Go to your room or go to bed or blah, blah, blah. And you're just like, there's a part of you that's like resigned and you don't want to because you want to stay up with the older kids. and you go to sleep and you're fine. And the world has not ended. And you can still continue to play for another day because they got it, right? And somebody else was paying the bills. Somebody else made sure that there was food in the house. Somebody else handled stuff. And I want you to develop that relationship with your spirit team as well. There's like, there's some stuff that's just beyond my pay grade, and I'm going to bed. And somebody else handle this, or give me the instructions on how to handle it when I get up tomorrow, right? So that's one. Another one is that sometimes we want to fill every breathing minute with something to do or say, or you have a log of overdue tasks and commitments that you haven't gotten to. And so every little piece of free time that you get, you're like, let me go see what else I have to handle that I haven't yet, right? I'm going to suggest strongly, exhort even, that when you get one of those free moments, whether it's a minute at the red light or 10 minutes waiting for the kids to come back from, waiting at the bus line or whatever, just sit down, shut up, breathe, close your eyes, take the seat back and just close your eyes, put your sunglasses on so people don't think that you're weird. But just breathe and close your eyes for a second and just like be present, check in with yourself. What's my arm doing? What are my feet doing? How do my thighs feel? Get in your body. A lot of times we just live up here with the thinking thing and the machinating thing and the anticipating thing, and it's conceptual and thinking and moving things and ideating and imagine. Gosh, get in your body, right? That's one of the reasons why here at the Daily Huddle we say move your tail feather, because dancing, and particularly twerking, darling, will get you in your body and will move some of that energy out, right? So that's the next thing that I'll say, is being present in that way. Take whatever free time you have, take that. And then the third thing that I'll say, and this might sound a little weird. It's okay if it's weird to you. It's not weird to me.
I love it already.
Sometimes, especially if I'm alone in my house, I'll walk around talking. Sometimes I'm talking to myself. Sometimes I'm talking to God. Sometimes I'm talking to the problem. Sometimes I'm talking to my calendar. Sometimes I'm talking to my commitments that I don't know how I'm going to get them done all in 1 week, 1 month, 1 day, 1 hour, or whatever, right? But here's what I know. There's an ancient phrase in Sanskrit that means I create as I speak. It's pronounced abracadabra. And in modern culture, we think it means, ooh, there's magic. No, the magic is in being able to create as you speak. So when I am speaking to my problem, I am saying, I know there's a solution to you. I may not know what it is. I may not articulate it yet. I may not run into it yet, but I know there is, because I know the law. And I know that if there's a problem, there's a solution. If there's an up, there's a down. If there's a question, there's an answer. So where's your dancing partner problem? Because I know it's around here somewhere. Where? And I am not going to let myself get beat or tired or stressed over something that exists in the universe. I just have to match it, right? And so when I hear myself speaking that way and I raise my voice and I walk around and I clap and all of that is letting my subconscious know that all is well, right? There's a gazillion things that you don't have physical evidence for, and you still have 100% commitment. You know that radio, Wi-Fi, internet lines exist because we're on a Zoom, because we're on Facebook, because we're da. You know they exist. You see the evidence of it, but you don't see them. And so treat your other problems or your other concerns or your other commitments in the same way. You know that there's a way to do something easily, safely, and successfully. You just don't, you may not see the path to get there, but you've never had to see the path to get there. You just know that the result exists. And that can also give you rest, right? Drink your water. Whenever you feel like, I think I'm hungry. I think I need a little snack. Drink some water first. Sometimes hunger is masked and it's really thirst. Sometimes hunger is masked and it's really boredom. Sometimes hunger is masked and it's really a call for connection, right? Look at in our culture, how many times we insert food into our social connection time, right? Listen, I know this a lot Because like, how do I get social connection without having to insert food into it? Yeah. So all of those tips, hopefully those are helpful, Tara.
They're fantastic. And I am so inspired by you as always. Thank you.
You're so welcome. Now, speaking of social connection, I want to remind you all that we have our daily huddle live in person IRL event. It's coming up August 12th in Atlanta, Georgia. And we've only had one previous IRL event. We're going to have a second one. We're coming back with a vengeance now that everybody's back outside post-COVID. And so you want to go to thedailyhuddleevent.com to make sure that you get your tickets. Trust me when I tell you, because I had to fight, child. I had to fight to make sure that we were being decent and reasonable with these. I was like, you don't want to charge $1,000 with the amount of people that are coming and the expertise that's being shared? Really? We're just charging lunch. $27 for the ticket for one person. And you get all the goodness of the Daily Huddle hosts and the community, and we get to hug up on each other, and we get to share in each other's presence and talk all manner of things in terms of making sure that you're living your best life. So make sure that you go to thedailyhuddleevent.com. And I can't wait to see you there. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Remember, as always, to love generously, to laugh loudly, give of yourself, move your tail feather. I told you that. Get yourself at least 7 hours of sleep. Make sure that you're resting. Also, stress less, eat more plant-based, and check your assumptions. Audit your assumptions. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. We love you. See you next time. Woo! That looks like a movie trailer. I love it.